Thank you for your time
Yeah,
today. My name is Shell. I'm
absolutely.
with Art Paparazza.
Hi,
And
I'm
I'm
Billy.
Hi, nice to meet you, Billy, lead singer and vocalist for the band Wretched.
Indeed.
And lyricist, I believe, as well. So,
Hmm.
well, let's just get right into it then. It's been over 10 years since
Hmm.
y'all were together with your last album, Cannibal. And that was
Yes.
what, 2014, I think?
2014, yeah.
2014. What made you guys decide to get back together, and how has it been going so far?
Um, I think a lot of it has to do with I guess to start, the reason for not continuing over those. So I quit at the end of 2010. So I was on the Exodus of Autonomy and Beyond the Gate. Adam Cody stepped in for Son of Perdition and Cannibal. And they were teetering on the brink of writing new music, which they did. Around like 2017, they started writing album five, and that's ultimately nothing came to fruition from. I think something that I have said in the past is, I think everybody just kind of uh, life got in the way of living life, so to speak. So that kind of put a stall on a lot of things. And it wasn't until like I had been hanging out with Steven, going to shows of his other bands. Like he's in another band called Abyssal Frost, um, from North Carolina, and they played some shows down in Atlanta where I moved at the beginning of 2021. So I would come see him. I'd hang out, I'd see him like every once in a while, every time I would go up to North Carolina. And I just always kind of, put it in his ear as just like, hey man, if you do end up wanting to get things started back up and Adam doesn't want to take on the throes of being the vocalist any longer, let me know. And so May of 2022, early May, he sends me this long text, and he's just like, don't answer now, but just take some time, think about it, let me know what you think. And I immediately respond with, hell yeah, I'm definitely down. I'm down, so let's get this started. Um, as for the why now, I think everybody just kind of had that itch. We all knew that Wretched wasn't finished with where they had left things off in maybe 2014, 2016. And the desire to write more music of, I guess, that entity. It was definitely there. That itch needed to be scratched. I know for myself, with Beyond the Gate being my last record with Wretched before the new one that comes out tomorrow, Decay. That there was always I always wanted to make the next Wretched album a continuation for Beyond the Gate. So over the like 11 plus years before rejoining in 2022, I was always kind of brainstorming a little bit, what would I have done? And then when I finally sat down to start writing the lyrics for the album, um, I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing a prequel or if I was going to be doing a direct continuation. That is not the way to go, Legion. Here's my girl, Legion.
Oh,
She's cute. Yes, she's trying to make her way to the window over here.
we are huge
And
fans of cats.
good, good. We've got six in the house.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so huge fans also. But yeah, so once I started sitting down and actually writing the lyrical content for Decay, which was the first track that I wrote to was The Golden Tide, track 10. That's where I realized, okay, this is definitely a prequel. And it wasn't until I got a little deeper into it and started writing the lore for it that I realized that it was like 1,000 plus years before that story. So yeah, this is a really cool one. I'm really incredibly proud of myself. There's some stuff that I can go back to, like even for the Exodus of Autonomy and Beyond the Gate. Just looking at the lyrical content and just being like, did I really write this? Like, where the hell did this come from? And I'm reeling from that, the effects of that, even with Decay.
Where does it come from?
Dude, I tell you what, man.
A fever dream.
Seriously, like I'll just sit down and um, I'll write a word, like because everything it's really, I don't know if other writers or lyricists or what have you are like this, but I know a lot of people just like they have this idea and they build plot points and then they start the story. versus just like getting right into the thick of it. Um, but I mean, there's always one word that I feel is like the best word to start out the song with that just feels perfectly correct, or one line. And I'm like, oh, this line of lyrics sounds like this should be the way that this song starts. Um, and then, sorry, she got hair in my mouth. Um, so yeah, I just start it and then I run with it. And I mean, there's times where it'll be very confusing to me, and I'm just like, God, I don't know where the hell I want to take this one. So I have to take a step back, maybe take a day off or something like that. Um, but then when I come back to it, everything just floods out. And I think it was maybe, so I wrote The Golden Tide, then I wrote Blackout, and I think The Crimson Sky came after that. And then I started to, think, because with Beyond the Gate, after the fact of writing all the lyrical content, I started writing some backstory, and I was just like, ah. And then I gave up on it because it just felt too tedious at that point, because my brain wasn't really in the thick of it anymore. Um, so with this album, after I wrote The Crimson Sky, I was just like, I need to kind of understand where the hell I'm going with this and where I'm actually at. So I started writing like a bulk, like I wrote an introduction to the story, which was primarily supposed to be the only extra, I guess, creative writing that was going to go into the liner notes for the physical media. But then I just kept carrying on, and every time I would finish a song, I would write more in between each song that I had finished. And then the next night, when I would start writing the next song, I would go back and listen to what I had done with the first three songs and read everything just to get my brain like in that dream, so to speak. And it was that's my creative process for this
Yeah.
album. And it did put me into some pretty dark places because I was tapping into some personal stuff subconsciously, which I try not to incorporate personal stuff into my lyrical content. I always want to kind of keep it a work of fiction as, a means of escape for myself, escape for the readers and listeners.
Mm.
But yeah, there was, I definitely could not avoid it with this one because the past 11 plus years, there was a lot to unpack with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, life happens, personal loss happened, whatever trauma and all that other crap, and a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah, and that's a common theme I've noticed with a lot of lyricists that I've interviewed. It is drawn from personal experience, good or bad.
mhm.
It puts a lot of passion behind the power, and I think that that's important message to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah,
Everybody has
absolutely.
shit they go through, and you're able to unpack it and provide that to the world that they're not alone. And it is very appreciated when it does come from that part. But I know it must take
Yeah,
a total emotional toll on you for that.
yeah, it's
So
it's pretty rough, but it is what it is, and I'm very, very pleased with the result of
yeah,
all of that unpacking, and just like putting the feeling and the pain and everything else onto the page for
yeah.
others to explore at their leisure.
One of my favorite songs is Crimson Sky. You had mentioned it. That to me,
Nice.
because I'm a goth kid from the 80s
Yeah.
and metal and a little death metal-y. And so when I heard that, it's just the very beginning is just so haunting. And it was one of my favorite ones. And I was going to ask you, you mentioned it. Um, was that one of the first songs you said that you wrote, or is
That
that
was the that was the third one that I
the
wrote
third one?
after Blackout, after the main character Malus officially gets possessed, and then he brings his sibling to him to do unspeakable things.
Unspeakable things. And then I'd like to talk about the 16-minute solo,
Yeah.
guitar solo. And just
Let
was,
me say one thing about Crimson Sky. There's
oh,
actually
yes.
an alternate intro version. So
Oh,
what you hear on the album is like a clip, and then
mhm.
it just comes in with a punch. There's actually and I don't know if this will ever see the light of day. I think we pulled it and altered the intro a little bit just because it kind of felt a little dated. There were some concerns on how to pull it off live as well. because I do a lot of like vocal layering in it. It's semi similar to how the song Clairvoyance is.
Hmm.
So there's some clean vocals at the beginning of that track, or initially there were, with the whispers and screams and stuff behind it, which is really freaking cool. And I know Andrew and myself were pretty bummed that that didn't make the cut, but it made sense to not make the cut as well. But
Yeah.
hopefully, like if that's your favorite, one of your favorite songs on the album,
Mm.
I think that would probably, uh, if you ever hear that, it would increase your love for it, if you
I
will.
was going to ask how it translates live. Must be amazing, or hard, but amazing on the album. So
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm ready for it to come out tomorrow. That's for sure.
good.
I got a sneak peek
Me
of it
too.
early, and it was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the rest of it. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
absolutely.
it.
Good.
So back to the guitar
Yes.
solo. What brought that about? And I mean, it puts the album at a little over an hour, which I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm fine with that. I'm actually really good with that
Yeah.
because the story is being told, and it feels like there might be a future album, coming up.
Hmm.
But what about the solo? Who's determined that one?
The instrumental,
That's right.
Behind the
Yeah.
Glass. No, it's okay.
Oh,
Um, I,
Behind the
I,
Glass. Sorry, I should have said
yeah.
the name.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I knew exactly where we were going with this. Um, that is pretty much all down to Steven. So like, I know that initially when I got the first rendition of it in demo format, it was maybe like 6 or 7 minutes long, and Steven was just like, "Oh, it's not done yet." He's like, "This is probably gonna be pushing 10 minutes." And then the next time he gives it to us, it's 12 minutes long, and he's just like, "I still feel I've got some more ideas." So then it goes another like freaking 5 minutes. But I mean, we all really enjoy it. And I know that there's people out there that are, I know it's really tough to um, invest yourself, mentally, emotionally, every way, into, just focusing on something for over an hour, especially when it comes to a body of music. But I honestly feel like, when it comes to that instrumental, there are so many layers to it, and so much happens in that 16 minutes that it once you're at the end of it, you don't really even feel like you have spent 16 minutes of your life listening to a piece of music.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, yeah, it is part of the art of what we were going with on this album. I personally, the way that I look at it, as in the liner notes, on the back end of the liner notes, there's all of my story stuff at the beginning of the album, in between each song, and then there's the song title in between those chunks of story, where that lyrical content applies within the story. And then at the very end is Behind the Glass, because I like to think of that as more of an ending credits, if you will. And definitely, I, I don't know if that's going to be like the firm direction we take in the next album, but I do know that the next album is going to be, um, I mean, this one is much, dare I say, more mature, in its direction, and what we've done with it, um, than previous efforts. Because all the other albums are awesome, and they've all got stuff that we are all incredibly proud of. Um, but this one, I think this just shows that how much we've grown as individuals, as human beings, over the past 11 plus years. And it's still wretched, but it's definitely going to be a different wretched than you're a fully used to. I mean, it's still a melodic death metal album, but it's more, uh, easily digestible. It's I feel it's going to reach people that don't necessarily have anything in common with, um, listening to death metal music. And I'm not saying we're going to cross genre. I would love to cross genres and have people that like love pop music to love Wretched. especially with our song "The Golden Skyway," the last track on the album, because that one's just like bouncy and it's got a
Hmm.
lot of different vocal things going on in that, and it's just I do call that our pop song.
Yeah.
But it would be fantastic to be able to do that and cross genres like that, but that's just a hope. I just feel that this album is definitely it's going in a different direction. Um, and yeah, we're just freaking proud of it. We're
Well,
happy with
and
it.
you never know. The cross genre thing happens. Metal is making a comeback.
It
Uh,
really is.
and I every time I go, I'm a photographer, and every time I go to a concert to take pictures, I've got 17, 18-year-olds behind me. Here I am in my mid 40s going, how do you know these people? Like when
Yeah.
Wasp came to play, I had this little 19-year-old girl going, I love Wasp, and she knew every word to every song, and I'm like amazed. I mean, she's the same age as my child, and I'm like, this is amazing, and I said, and I'm happy about that. So it very well could, and yeah, the last song, Golden, is it Golden Sky? It sounds exactly like something that could cross over. I could see that happening and
Yeah.
exposing people to metal, metalcore, death metal, progressive metal, whatever you want to call it. I think is always a good thing.
No, for
Expand their
sure.
horizons.
Absolutely.
So that's an
Yeah.
awesome idea. So,
Yeah.
so
We're a gateway
there you go.
drug.
You're like the gateway drug for
Yeah.
deathcore.
Yeah. I mean,
Works for
I'd
me.
be okay with that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So you did mention that there's probably another album or two maybe coming out next year and some
I
touring,
mean,
since I don't think you
I
got to
mean,
tour this year that much.
we did not really get to tour at all this year. We did a few things. One that's most notable would be what we did in August with a friend band of ours, Aether Realm, which was only 5 dates, but it was still freaking cool as hell. It was awesome to meet those guys and play with them. And yeah, just everybody that was part of that was phenomenal, and it was just great mingling and getting scratching that itch, even in the smallest way. Just I mean, all of us wanted it to continue for sure, and definitely was not long enough, but it was still good to do. And yes, we were supposed to do a full US, and we were supposed to be out on tour right now, but unfortunately, out of our control, things happened with 6 Feet Under. So that unfortunately had to get canceled. But yeah, we do have plans to start the year 2026 off right. We don't have anything to announce officially yet, but in the next, I would say at least the next month and a half, we should have something substantial to offer people. And then we have multiple tours that we are in the process of fine tuning right now, to again start 2026 off right. And in the sense of a new album, we are all incredibly ready to start writing another one. We're just not sure when that's actually going to happen, because we do still have to do some touring to support this album. And yeah, just we got to breathe a little bit of life into it, to reach the faces of people that have still never heard of us, and have a good time with everybody, and make an
Well,
impression.
yeah, if I can throw my pitch in for Northern California, and most notably, we have one of the biggest punk rock metal festivals here every year, about 4 miles from my house, called Aftershock. I don't know who your people are, but your people need to contact those people and need to get you on one of
Yeah,
those stages, because it's an iconic 4-day festival and it's just a whole lot of fun. But just coming to Northern California would be great, since that's where I'm located. I
yeah.
would love to see you guys play live. So,
I would
um,
keep your eyes open
okay,
for early 2026. I can't say anything
right.
officially, but just keep your eyes open. I have a feeling that we may make a stop that's going to be very easy for you to attend.
Yay! That
Yeah,
works for me. Oop, that works
yeah.
for me. So, is there anything you want to leave with the listeners that are going to be watching this intently when I post it tomorrow?
I we're about to put out our fifth full length album on October 17th, Friday. Just if you enjoy sci-fi horror or fantasy, and you like to read, put on your reading glasses if you're old enough to have them, and or just put in your contacts like I have to do as well. But yeah, turn up the volume, put on your headphones, and enjoy, because this album definitely leaves off on a cliffhanger, and my intent is to continue picking up exactly where it leaves off on the next album. Um, yeah, I mean, have fun and hope to see everybody soon.
Awesome. And one last question, because I have to ask, because I love
Yeah.
cats. How did you
Hmm.
get the name Legion for your cat?
That is based on the demon comprised of many demons, not
Ah,
not the comic book character, or what else could there be? Yeah, we've got a Mina also from
okay.
Dracula. We have a Newt from Aliens,
Awesome.
um, a Ripley as well, and then
I
we've
was just gonna
got
say you have to
a
have a Ripley.
yeah, we've got a Vincent and a Valeria.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
are they
Vincent.
all gray cats or are they different types of
No,
cats?
no, no, no. She's the only gray one. Ripley is, uh, I'd say she's more of a tabby. Valeria is more of a tabby co. Vincent is a tuxedo boy.
Ah,
And then Newt is, yeah, she's just a weird little striped, cute little ball of joy.
she's a newt.
She is a Newt.
That's awesome. Well, Millie, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Again, it comes out tomorrow, I believe, October 17th, Decay via Metal Blade Records. And hopefully everybody goes out and gets it. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, Shell.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.
All right, thanks. Bye.